The first scream was swallowed by the wind. 7-year-old Lily Kamara stumbled through the blizzard, her breath shattering in the frozen air as she clutched her stuffed rabbit against her chest. Snow slapped her face, stinging her skin, blurring everything. She could barely see the road anymore. Her legs shook violently, every step sinking into the thick white storm. But she didn't stop. She couldn't, because her mother hadn't come home. "Mommy, please." Her tiny voice trembled, instantly carried away by the wind's roar. She slipped, falling hard on her knees. Pain shot up her leg, but she forced herself up again. The city was dead silent. No cars, no people, just the scream of the storm. A streetlight flickered overhead, the only witness as she dragged herself forward. "Go to the man in the glass house," she remembered her mother whispering last night, her voice weak but loving. "If anything happens, go to him. He may look dangerous, but he has a good heart." Lily had never seen him, but everyone in the neighborhood whispered about him. Kang Dae-Hyun, the Korean man on Queen Hill, the one people feared, the one with the power no one spoke of aloud. The Mafia boss. Another wave of wind slammed into her small body. She cried out, almost falling again, but then she saw it. Up ahead, through the blur of white, a huge structure rose like a shimmering shadow. The glass house. Her destination. Her heart fluttered with desperate hope. She pushed forward, the storm blasting tears down her cheeks, the cold burning her fingers until she couldn't feel them. Her legs buckled. She hit the gate, gripping it weakly as her strength drained away. Her voice cracked into the frozen night. "Mommy, I couldn't find you." Then her small body collapsed into the snow. Inside the mansion, alarms beeped softly as motion sensors detected something unusual at the gate. Kang Dae-Hyun, sitting with a glass of whiskey in hand, barely glanced up until he saw the camera feed. A child, alone, unmoving. His expression hardened instantly. He set the glass down and strode toward the door, his long coat snapping behind him. The moment he stepped outside, the wind slammed against him, but he didn't hesitate. He reached the gate, crouched, and his breath stopped. A little black girl lay half buried in snow, trembling, lips blue. He scooped her up, shocked by how weightless she was. "Yeah, kid," he muttered, his voice rough but urgent. "Stay with me." Her head rested limply against his chest. Her eyelashes were frozen. He carried her inside with swift, determined steps, barking orders the moment he crossed the doorway. "Get blankets. Now. Heat up the emergency room. Move." His men rushed, but Dae-Hyun didn't wait. He placed the girl on the couch, stripped off her wet jacket, covered her in a thick blanket, and cupped her cold cheeks. Her eyes fluttered. "Where's my mommy?" she whispered. Her voice was so weak it barely existed. Dae-Hyun's jaw clenched. Something inside him cracked, an old wound he never acknowledged, something he thought was long dead. "You're safe," he said, his voice lower, softer. "Tell me your name." Lily Kamara." Her small hand gripped his sleeve. "Mommy didn't come home. I waited. She always comes home." Her voice fractured. Dae-Hyun felt it like a punch to the chest. "Tell me where she works," he murmured. "At the big building. She cleans at night. She didn't come back." Her eyes closed again. Panic shot through him. "Yeah, stay awake," he snapped, but the fear was in his voice, not hers. She blinked weakly, trying to obey. He let out a breath that fogged in the air. "I'll find your mother. I promise you." Her eyes filled with tears. "You promise?" "I never break promises." A lie he usually lived by. Tonight, it was truth. He stood, grabbing his phone. "Haksu, trace Grace Kamara. She works at the Cascade facility. Now." "Yes, boss." a voice responded immediately. Dae-Hyun looked back at Lily, small, freezing, terrified, and something in him hardened with lethal resolve. Whoever let this child's mother go missing, whoever failed her, would face him personally. Behind him, Lily whispered through trembling lips, "Please don't let Mommy die." His heart hitched, subtle but real. He swallowed. "I won't." Her trust was instant, fragile, absolute, and it shook him. As he tucked the blanket tighter around her, his mind crackled with growing fury at the world that forced a child into a storm to search for help she should never have needed. A storm far worse than the one outside stirred inside him. If this opening already has you hooked and you want to know what happens to Lily, her mother, and the man she just met, make sure to like this story, subscribe for more powerful episodes, and drop a comment telling which moment shocked you the most. Now, let's continue. Hak-soo returned with a trembling voice. "Boss, we found something. Grace Kamara clocked in last night, but..." "But what?" Dae-Hyun's eyes sharpened. "She never clocked out." Silence froze the room colder than the storm outside. Dae-Hyun didn't hesitate. "Warm the car. We leave in 5 minutes." Lily stirred. Are you going to find her?" "I already am," he answered. He didn't add the rest. "And I will burn through this city if that's what it takes." Lily's small hand gripped Dae-Hyun's coat as he lifted her gently. She was still cold, but her breathing had steadied. "Please don't leave me," she whispered. "I'm not leaving you," he said. "You're coming with me." Her head rested on his chest, and he carried her toward the hallway where his men waited. Their eyes widened. No one had ever seen him hold anything gently, much less a child. "Boss, the roads are almost closed," Hak-soo warned. "Visibility is getting worse by the minute." "Then we drive faster," Dae-Hyun replied, brushing past him. "Sir, you're taking the kid with you?" Dae-Hyun turned sharply. "Do you expect me to leave her alone in a blizzard?" Hak-soo flinched. No, boss." They reached the car. Dae-Hyun placed Lily carefully in the back seat, buckled her in, and wrapped another blanket around her. "Are you cold?" he asked, his tone softer than anyone had ever heard. She nodded. "A little." He increased the heater immediately. "You stay awake. Talk to me." She blinked at him through sleepy eyes. "About what?" "About your mother," he said, sliding into the driver's seat. "What does she look like?" Lily brightened a little. "She's really pretty. She has braids, and she sings for me when I'm scared." Dae-Hyun's grip tightened on the steering wheel. "Good. Keep talking." He sped down the icy road, headlights carving through the blinding white. The wind smacked the car violently, tires struggling against the snow. Lily's voice wavered. "Mommy said, you're not a bad man." That hit him harder than the storm. He glanced back, stunned. "She told you that?" "Yes," Lily said. "She said people with power can be dangerous, but sometimes they choose to protect." His jaw clenched. Grace Kamara didn't know him, but her words reached something buried deep inside him. The car slid suddenly, skidding across ice. Lily screamed. Dae-Hyun wrestled the wheel, swearing under his breath until the tires regained traction. "You okay?" he asked immediately. Lily nodded shakily. "Are we close?" "Almost." Hak-soo followed behind in the second car, communicating through the radio. "Boss, thermal scan shows a heat signature on the south side of the Cascade building. That might be her." "Might?" Dae-Hyun growled. "The building is half frozen. Alarms are offline. I'm not asking for excuses." They arrived at the building entrance. Snow hammered the windshield. Dae-Hyun got out, opening the back door. Lily tried to stand, but stumbled. He caught her instantly. "Stay beside me," he instructed. "Yes, sir." They stepped into the freezing facility. Lights flickered. The cold was sharp enough to bite skin. Dae-Hyun scanned the hallway, every sense alert. "Haksu," he said. "Lead." His lieutenant hurried ahead, sweeping each section carefully. The building groaned under the weight of the storm. Suddenly, Lily tugged Dae-Hyun's coat. "I know this hallway. Mommy works here." Her voice cracked. They reached the staff room door. It was locked, frozen shut. "Break it," Dae-Hyun ordered. Haksu rammed it with his shoulder. Nothing. Again. Still nothing. Dae-Hyun pushed him aside. "Move!" With one brutal kick, the door flew open. Cold air blasted out, and Lily gasped. Inside, Grace Kamara lay on the floor, her breaths shallow, her skin pale. "Mommy!" Lily cried, rushing forward. Dae-Hyun grabbed her quickly. "Wait, let me check her first." He knelt beside Grace, touching her neck. Her pulse was faint but present. Relief flickered over his face, but only for a moment. "What the hell happened here?" he muttered. Haksu swallowed. "She must have collapsed during her shift, and no one found her." Dae-Hyun's stare turned icy. "Unacceptable." Lily broke free and dropped beside her mother, shaking her gently. "Mommy! Mommy, wake up!" Grace didn't move. Dae-Hyun scooped her into his arms with surprising care. Lily ran beside him, tears streaking her cheeks. "We're taking her to the hospital," he said. "The roads," Haksu started. "I don't care if the sky falls. Move." They reached the car. Dae-Hyun laid Grace in the back seat, Lily climbing in beside her, holding her mother's hand tightly. "Mommy, please wake up," she whispered. "Please." Grace didn't respond. Dae-Hyun turned to Haksu. "Clear the route. No delays." Haksu nodded and sprinted ahead. As the car drove, Grace's head rolled slightly, her lips parting. "Mommy?" Lily gasped. "Mommy, can you hear me?" A barely audible whisper escaped Grace's lips. Lily. Mommy." Lily burst into tears. Dae-Hyun's chest tightened, but then he saw something that made his blood freeze. Grace's breathing suddenly slowed. Too slow. "Stay with me," he said, reaching back to steady her. "Grace, stay awake." Her eyes flickered open for a brief second. She saw him. Recognition. Fear. Confusion. Who?" "Your daughter came to me for help," he said, "and I'm getting you out of this." Her eyes rolled back. "Grace!" Lily cried. Dae-Hyun pressed the accelerator harder as the storm roared around them. "Haksu, how far?" 10 minutes, boss. Make it 5. Snow pounded the windshield. The car's tires struggled. Lily sobbed into Grace's shoulder. "Don't die. Please don't die, Mommy." Dae-Hyun felt a surge of rage, at the cold, at the world, at the system that broke women like Grace until they collapsed alone in locked rooms. He leaned forward, voice low but fierce. "Grace Kamara, listen to me. You don't get to die. Not today. Not while your daughter is watching." A faint shiver ran through her body, as if she heard him. Lily cried harder. "Mr. Dae, please hurry." "I'm trying," he said, his knuckles white on the wheel. Another sheet of ice appeared on the road, too late to avoid. The car hit it, skidded, spun. Lily screamed. Grace's body jerked. Dae-Hyun fought the wheel with brutal strength, teeth clenched, the world spinning in white chaos. Until the car slammed to a stop against a snowbank. Silence fell. Lily sobbed uncontrollably. Grace lay motionless. And Dae-Hyun whispered a curse under his breath, chest heaving. "Hold on," he said. "We're not done." He restarted the engine and drove. Snow blasted against the windshield as Dae-Hyun pushed the car forward, the engine groaning under the strain. Grace's breathing was faint, too faint, and Lily kept shaking her gently, whispering, "Mommy, please, don't leave me." Dae-Hyun kept glancing at the rearview mirror. Grace's skin had taken on a grayish tone. That wasn't good. Not good at all. Haksu, he barked into the radio. We're close? We've cleared the final stretch, boss. Straight ahead, hospital emergency entrance. Dae-Hyun didn't wait for more instructions. He slammed the accelerator. The car shot forward through the snow, tires slipping but holding. The moment he arrived at the hospital, he threw the car into park and jumped out. He opened the back door, scooping Grace into his arms once more. Lily grabbed his coat, crying but running alongside him. "Somebody help!" she screamed. Emergency staff rushed toward them, shocked at the sight of a Korean man with the presence of a warlord carrying an unconscious woman and a sobbing child. "She collapsed from exhaustion and cold exposure," Dae-Hyun said sharply. "She needs immediate treatment." "Sir, we have to ask—" "No questions," he snapped. "Save her first." The staff rushed Grace inside. Dae-Hyun started to follow, but a nurse stepped in front of him. "Sir, you can't enter the trauma room yet." Lily latched onto his hand, terrified. "Don't let them take her away." "She's going to be okay," he said, kneeling to Lily's eye level, his voice uncharacteristically gentle. "They're helping her, that's all." Lily wiped her tears, trembling. Dae-Hyun wrapped an arm around her shoulders and guided her to the waiting area. The storm outside pounded against the windows. Time felt suffocating. Minutes passed. Long minutes. Lily leaned against him, exhaustion dragging at her small body. Dae-Hyun didn't move. His body remained a shield around her. His eyes locked on the hallway every time a doctor passed. Hak-soo finally entered quietly. "Boss, the facility manager has been arrested. He was the last person to see Grace Kamara alive last night." Lily's eyes widened with fear. "Arrested? Why?" Dae-Hyun looked at Hak-soo with lethal calm. "Tell me everything." Hak-soo lowered his voice. "The manager ignored her collapse. He left her there, locked the door so no one would see." Lily gasped, covering her mouth. Dae-Hyun's expression turned dark, dangerous. His voice dropped into a tone that made the air grow cold. And he thought no one would find out. Hak-soo nodded stiffly. "I'll deal with him later," Dae-Hyun said. "Right now, my priority is them." Before Lily could ask anything else, a doctor approached. Lily jumped to her feet. "Is Mommy okay?" The doctor looked between Lily and Dae-Hyun, then nodded. "She's stable for now. Severe dehydration, extreme fatigue, borderline hypothermia. She needs rest, fluids, and monitoring." Lily sobbed with relief. Dae-Hyun exhaled, tension slipping from his shoulders. "You can see her," the doctor added. Lily grabbed Dae-Hyun's hand again. "Come with me." He didn't even hesitate. When they entered the hospital room, Grace lay connected to IV lines, her breathing steadier. Her eyes fluttered open slowly. "Lily?" she whispered. Lily rushed to her side, hugging her gently. "Mommy, I was so scared." Grace's lips trembled. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry." Then her gaze shifted, landing on the tall Korean man standing silently beside her bed. Her breath caught. "Kang Dae-Hyun?" she whispered, as if speaking the name of danger itself. His eyes softened, something no one ever saw. "Your daughter came to me for help." Grace tried to sit up, panicking. I didn't mean to involve you. Please don't hurt anyone." "Hurt?" Lily squeaked, confused. "Mr. Dae helped me. He saved you." Grace blinked, stunned. "He saved me?" Dae-Hyun stepped forward. "You collapsed because you were overworked. Your employer failed you. That won't happen again." Fear flickered in her eyes. "Please. I can't lose my job. I have rent, school fees. Lily." "You're not losing your job," he said. "You're getting a new one." Grace stared at him, unable to process the words. What do you mean?" "I'm restructuring the entire cleaning division. New pay, new benefits, new hours. effective immediately. Grace's eyes widened. No one did this. No one changed the world for workers like her. And you, he added, will work directly under my administration. A safer job, better pay, full health coverage. Her lips parted in shock. Why would you do that for me? Silence hovered for a moment. Dae-Hyun answered truthfully. Because your daughter walked through a storm for you, he said, and because no one who works under my companies should ever suffer like this. Grace's eyes filled with tears. She covered her mouth, overwhelmed. Lily squeezed her mother's hand. Mommy, he promised he'd find you. He didn't break it. Dae-Hyun shifted, uncomfortable with the emotion in the room. Rest. That's what you need now. Grace nodded, wiping tears from her cheeks. But Lily tugged on his sleeve. Mr. Dae, can you stay? He hesitated. His world did not allow softness. But then he pulled a chair to the bedside and sat. I'll stay, he said quietly. Hours passed. Grace slept. Lily eventually curled up in Dae-Hyun's lap, head against his chest, her breathing soft and warm. His hand rested lightly on her back, steadying her. Haksu stared when he entered. He had never seen his boss like this. Dae-Hyun didn't even acknowledge him. Any updates? He murmured. Haksu cleared his throat. We finished the investigation. Grace Kamara has been working double and triple shifts for 3 years. Underpaid, no benefits, no sick leave. Dae-Hyun's expression turned sharp with anger. And the supervisor? He admitted locking her in the room so she wouldn't ruin his records with medical downtime. Lily shifted in her sleep, unaware of the darkness being discussed. Dae-Hyun whispered. Grace almost died because of him. Yes, boss. Handle it, he ordered. Haksu bowed and left immediately. Dae-Hyun watched Lily sleeping in his arms. Something new, something terrifying, and something strangely warm settled into his chest. He wasn't supposed to feel this. He wasn't supposed to care. But he did. And he knew it was already too late to undo that. Grace stirred weakly. Her eyes opened just enough to see her daughter safe, sleeping on the chest of the most dangerous man in Seattle. Her voice was a shaky whisper. Why, are you doing this for us? Dae-Hyun met her gaze, and the answer came with the clarity of truth. Because you shouldn't have to survive alone. Grace's question lingered in the quiet hospital room, floating between fear, confusion, and something too fragile to name. Dae-Hyun didn't look away from her. His gaze was steady, controlled, but softened by something he couldn't hide anymore. You fought so hard for your daughter, he said. The world punished you for it. I won't. Grace's breath trembled. She had heard rumors about this man, how he ruled Seattle's underground with ruthless precision, how even powerful men bowed their heads when he walked by. Never in her wildest dreams did she imagine he would sit at her bedside with her daughter sleeping in his arms. Thank you, she whispered weakly. But I don't understand. Why us? He didn't answer right away, but inside, he knew. Because the moment he saw Lily in the snow, his chest had clenched the way it hadn't in years. Because Grace's resilience, her sacrifices, her strength, they weren't invisible to him anymore. Because something inside him felt awake. Instead, he said, Rest. You don't need explanations tonight. Grace nodded softly, her eyelids heavy. She watched him for a moment longer, memorizing the strange tenderness in his eyes before sleep finally pulled her under. Dae-Hyun breathed out slowly, glancing down at Lily curled into him like she belonged there. He didn't move until morning. When Grace awoke again, sunlight filtered through the blinds, soft and warm. Lily was awake now too, sitting on the chair beside Dae-Hyun, drawing a picture with a crayon one of the nurses had given her. She looked up when she saw her mother watching. "Mommy, look!" Lily held up a drawing of 3 people holding hands, herself, Grace, and Dae-Hyun. "This is our rescue picture." Grace blinked in surprise, her heart swelling with emotion and confusion and gratitude all at once. "That's beautiful, baby," she whispered. Then her eyes shifted to Dae-Hyun. "And thank you for staying." He didn't react dramatically, just a simple nod. "I told you I would." Later that afternoon, the doctor gave an update. Grace will be discharged in a day or 2, but she must avoid overexertion. She needs sleep, hydration, and stability. Stability. Dae-Hyun absorbed that word with a slow, intentional breath. He made sure Grace was resting, made sure Lily was fed, and quietly made phone calls that sent waves through his organization and beyond. By evening, Grace was sitting up slowly, sipping warm tea. Lily had fallen asleep again beside her. Dae-Hyun stood by the window, speaking quietly on his phone. "Yes, effective immediately. Benefits and increased pay for all cleaning staff. Mandatory breaks, no exceptions. Anyone who opposes this answers to me." Grace stared at him, astonished. He ended the call and met her eyes. "It's done." You changed everything in one day?" she asked. "For you," he said simply. Then, as if correcting himself, "for people like you." She didn't know what to say, so she whispered, "I don't know how to repay you." "You don't owe me anything." She swallowed. "Still, thank you, Mr. Kang." He paused at the use of his formal name. Something in his chest tightened in a way he didn't expect. "Call me Dae-Hyun," he said quietly. Grace hesitated, then nodded. "Thank you, Dae-Hyun." The way she said his name held warmth he wasn't prepared for. He cleared his throat, forcing himself away from the window. "I will take you home tomorrow," he said. "You and Lily both, safely." The next morning, a sleek black car pulled up at the hospital entrance. Nurses stared. Visitors stepped aside. No one would dare block Kang Dae-Hyun's path. Grace and Lily climbed into the back seat. As they drove toward their modest apartment, Lily talked excitedly about seeing their home again, squeezing her mother's hand with pure joy. Grace looked out the window at the passing streets. "Thank you for doing all this," she said. "You didn't have to." "But I wanted to," he replied. When they reached her apartment, Grace immediately flushed with embarrassment. The building was old, run down, the hallway dim. She tried to step out quickly, hiding her home in shame, but Dae-Hyun followed her without hesitation. "Your home is your home," he said. "You don't need to hide it." Lily tugged his sleeve. "Do you want to see my room?" He hesitated, but Lily was already pulling him inside. Grace watched nervously as the most feared man in Seattle stepped into her tiny living room, as if it were sacred ground. Dae-Hyun looked around. There was warmth here. There was love. Far more than he'd ever felt in his own mansion. Lily showed him her drawings taped to the wall. "This one is me and Mommy, and this is Mommy cleaning at her job, and this one—" She lifted a drawing of him. Dae-Hyun froze. He had broad shoulders in the drawing, a dark coat, and Lily had drawn a small heart next to him. "That's you saving me?" she said proudly. Grace felt tears rising. She turned away, wiping them quickly, but Dae-Hyun saw the shimmer in her eyes. "You're a good mother," he said softly. She shook her head. "I'm just trying my best." "That's what makes you good." For a moment, the room felt too quiet, too intimate, too full of something neither of them knew how to handle. Dae-Hyun stepped closer. Grace looked up, her breath catching. His voice was low, careful. "You don't ever have to face storms alone again." Grace's heart raced. Dae-Hyun. Before she could say more, Lily reappeared, holding out her stuffed rabbit. Mr. Dae, this means you're part of our family now. Grace choked on a breath. Lily. But Dae-Hyun knelt, accepting the rabbit with a seriousness that stunned them both. I'll protect your family, he said to Lily. Always. Grace pressed a hand to her chest as emotion overwhelmed her. Over the next few weeks, he visited often, bringing groceries, helping Grace settle into her new job, attending Lily's school events. Lily clung to him like a second parent. Grace tried to resist the pull, but every moment chipped away at her walls. One evening, after Lily fell asleep, Grace stepped onto her balcony where Dae-Hyun waited, leaning against the railing. I've been thinking about something, he said. Grace's heart thudded. About what? He turned to her fully. No coldness, no walls, just raw truth. You and Lily? You've changed me. You made me want something I thought I could never have. Grace swallowed hard. And what is that? A family. His voice was barely above a whisper. With you. Her breath trembled. Tears pricked her eyes. Dae-Hyun. He stepped closer, lifting her chin gently. I'm in love with you, Grace, and I'm in love with your daughter. I don't want to protect you from a distance. I want to be with you. She covered her mouth, tears streaming silently. I never thought someone like you would... Someone like me? He smiled faintly. Someone broken? Someone feared? Someone lonely, she whispered. He inhaled sharply, because it was true. Then Grace said the words that gave him breath again. I love you too. He pulled her into a slow, reverent embrace, the snow beginning to fall around them like the night everything began. Weeks later, under the soft glow of Seattle's skyline at Cary Park, Dae-Hyun knelt before Grace with Lily beside him, holding a small box. Grace Kamara, he said, voice thick with emotion. Marry me. Let me protect you. And Lily forever, Grace cried openly. Yes, I'll marry you. Lily squealed, hugging them both. We're a real family now. Their wedding was small but beautiful, warm, emotional, unforgettable. Lily walked proudly as the flower girl. Grace glowed with joy, and Dae-Hyun looked at them as if he had finally found the parts of his soul he didn't know were missing. That night, Lily placed her stuffed rabbit on a shelf in Dae-Hyun's mansion, a sign that she was home. A storm once brought them together. Now love held them there. If this story touched your heart, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment telling which moment made you emotional. More powerful stories are coming. Don't miss the next one.